in an accident, you need a lawyer, and you deserve an advocate. Because every accident has a ripple effect. It affects your time, your health, your ability to make money, everything. That's where the advocates can help. Thanks to our decades of experience, we know what your case is worth, and we'll fight to get you every penny you deserve. Consultations are simple and always free, because you're not just a client to us, you're a person, and you deserve the best help you can get. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show, live on your YouTube machine. Happy Wednesday. Really long year coming up here, as tomorrow is leap year. Jake's excited because he's going to get some free glizzies from Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
Is that how the kids use that word,
Yeah,
glizzy?
glizzies.
Same thing. The Monty Show, as always, is presented by our friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. And I got to tell you, I love their philosophy of fighting for you. That's exactly what they are. Advocates who are going to fight for you and make sure you get every penny you deserve, because I'll say what I say every day on this show. Insurance companies are not going to pay you a penny more than they absolutely have to, and that's usually as little as possible. Let the advocates get you what you deserve, because when that semi-truck rear-ended you, when it swerved out of its lane and hit you, when that driver ran a red light, when you got hurt at work, when you slipped and fell on a sidewalk that was not properly treated or maintained, you didn't deserve to get into that accident. You didn't deserve those injuries, but you deserve somebody to fight for you. That's why you need to get to theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business, always available 24/7, 365 on chat, and it won't cost you a dime. You never pay the advocates out of pocket at theadvocates.com. Jake, average morning to you. How are things?
Good, man. Good, yeah. Things are
Okay.
good. Yeah.
That's always
Dude,
good.
bro, what do you
Don't forget, we'll be off on Friday morning. We'll be back Monday, so we'll be here on leap year tomorrow. You know what?
We'll be here on leap year.
Yeah, a lot of people
tomorrow.
would take tomorrow off because they'd be time traveling to 2027.
It's the fucking vernal equinox.
Where people are still, stop sending me, you flipping hyenas. Stop sending me, oh, dude, he put a new video up.
Oh, Monty.
Look at him. He's in the Louvre and there's nobody there. He wasn't in the Louvre. Was he in a museum? Yes, he was. But am I the only one who noticed it was pitch black outside? Wonder if it was the middle of the night and they were closed. Just saying. I am not a time travel believer. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't believe the world ends in 2027. And if it does, I can at least say that I worked on leap year 2024.
There you go.
There you have it.
Yeah.
All right. The dastardly cheaters at Ohio State. Jake, for the record, Jake did not want to talk about this today.
Schemers trying to control their little world.
Jake is a known Buckeye fan. He was born at the Horseshoe on the 37-yard line. Jake, I kid. Jake does not want to talk about this story. Am I putting words in your mouth?
No, you're not. I think that this is getting blown way out of proportion. But I think it's a good conversation.
A euphemism?
Yeah, it is actually.
I think that this is not getting blown out of proportion. And if you don't know the story, the Ohio State football program self-reported 4 level 3 violations. In other words, they shoplifted a piece of candy at the mall, right? That's what this comes down to. But there's one violation that is not like the others. Ohio State self-reported contacting a football player before he was in the transfer portal. We can sit here and we can say, oh, hey, Monty, it was just on Twitter. Okay, cool. Does that mean they didn't contact him before he went in the portal? They did. And I think that is something that we have to take very seriously, because we don't know who that student was. And yes, Twitter is ablaze with, what was this guy? And it was that guy. It wasn't Caleb Downs, number one. Number two, it was a year ago before the Sabaninator retired. So chillax. But my point is, I don't care when it was. They still did it. I think this is a significant violation of NCAA rules. They did the right thing in self-reporting it. They punished themselves for it, which is great. But Jake, it's pretty hard to get away from the fact that it's a rule and they broke it.
Yeah, and you got caught, and I don't think that's even in dispute. Yeah, they got caught red-handed. They got caught breaking a rule. Like, that's black and white. It's not in question. Like, it is what it is. But I'm not going to subscribe to the idea that this is, when Michigan fan is like, oh, well, Ohio State's cheating, so that makes what we did better. I'm not doing that. This has nothing on what Michigan did. This has nothing on any of the other scandals we've seen in college football in recent times. Yes, did they break rules? Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't be contacting kids before they actually enter the portal. And as the story goes, this coach called that player before that player entered the portal. And that's a violation. There's just no way around that. And so to me, I look at this and I say, yeah, is this a story? I guess. I mean, you got caught red-handed. You got caught, executing illegal communication with players. Some of the other violations were, like he said, much less severe, like, social media stuff, creating graphics, like minor stuff that really isn't impactful.
But is it minor? Because the social media frenzy that we have in college sports, okay, that's minor. But the idea that Brian Hartline created a photo array for Chris Henry Jr., and he gave that photo array to Pac-Man Jones, who is the legal guardian of Chris Henry Jr., that's a clear violation of NCAA rules. And Chris Henry Jr. is a very highly regarded recruit. So you're going to go above and beyond. Is that a minor thing on its face? Of course it is. But at what point do we say cheating's cheating?
Mm-hmm.
And again, we disagreed passionately about it in our top secret.
Behind
Nobody's allowed to see it. Nobody can see it.
In
Pre-show meeting in the Louvre in 2027. We jumped into the portal. But my point is, we argued about it in our pre-show meeting that I think this is a story. I think these are recruiting violations, but this is what today's NCAA has turned itself into, where all of a sudden we're like, who cares if they contacted a kid before he was in the portal, and then mysteriously he got in the portal and he wound up at no, who cares? Well, that's a violation of the rules. And yeah, they self-reported him. Great. It's still a violation of the rules. And I don't think that we should be glossing over Ohio State, because that's one of the blue bloods. And now we know financially it's the number one financial revenue generator in all of college sports. I think it's a big deal.
Yeah, I think that cheating is cheating. And they'll get their fair share of discipline. They've gotten some of it already. I imagine still some is yet to be seen. But I don't know. I look at this and I say, this feels like, to me, this is what every program should be doing. Every program should be doing this stuff, in my opinion, even though it's illegal. If you're not doing these things, if you're not, stepping over that line a little bit and trying to get as many recruits as possible, even if sometimes you're doing it slightly illegally.
Unless you're Mike Gundy, because he doesn't do that stuff because it's illegal.
Right. He doesn't do that stuff ever. I mean, the mullet is perfectly.
I need it
because
it's illegal.
In alignment with the rules.
I love the way he says illegal
because it's illegal.
Yeah, because it's
illegal.
I
don't break the rules.
I don't break the rules because it's illegal.
Because it's illegal.
Yeah. Are you going to do anything about this? No. Is there any way to retroactively slap Brian Hartline on his bag? There's not. But I'm telling you, in much to Jake's point, and I think this is where we agree, much to your point, I think every major program is doing stuff like this.
Yes.
I think now with the prevalence of Insta Snap Face and 16, 17, 18-year-old kids post everything on Instagram, everything on, again, Insta Snap Face, TikTok, you're going to send them photos. How many coaches have sent photo arrays to recruits' families? Come on. Hundreds. I think this is where we are in college sports.
And I'm not saying they shouldn't be punished. I'm not saying that they shouldn't get their fair share of discipline, whatever that looks like.
I think that's the greater conversation.
Yeah.
Here. I would hold Ohio State to a higher standard. But they self-reported as they should. That is the standard in college sports. Okay, great. I think this is who we are now. Every rule shouldn't apply to us because we're us. That's who we are now.
Well, and I don't know that Ohio State's saying the rules shouldn't apply to them. I think what Ohio State is doing is very clear. And again, this is my point. Everyone's doing this. Hey, the rule is we can't contact this kid until he's in the portal, but we're going to go ahead and contact him anyway because we need to get a head start on all the other programs that this player may be looking at. And then if we get caught, because again, remember in real time when you're making these decisions, the conversation is we're going to go ahead and do this. And if we get caught, then we understand the punishment would be this, and we'll self-report, and this is the strategy.
Level 3 violation.
Right.
So my question is, are the penalties stiff enough? And I'm telling you they're not.
Probably not, no.
My opinion is that if you contact a kid, and I don't care if you bumped into him at the Wendy's during surge pricing, and so you bought him a burger.
A Frosty.
A nice thick chocolate Frosty.
Right.
It's a violation.
Yeah.
Oh, but Monty, it's level 3, and I'm going to tell the NCAA, I don't care. If you contact a kid in the portal, he shouldn't be allowed to go to your school.
So get your facts straight.
If Coach Dickhead contacts this kid, as long as D-Head is at that school, the kid shouldn't be able to go there.
What's up, motherfuckers?
Yeah, like you should have to have, there should be significant penalties.
Yeah,
There should be no level
agree.
1 versus level 3.
I agree with that. I think that, that to me makes a lot of sense. But again, I cannot get away from the fact that, hey, regardless of what the punishment winds up being, let's say that was the punishment, programs would still be doing this stuff, right? It's still, because remember, it's still worth the risk for them, right? You're talking about, I think it's a great point, being the number 1 revenue generating institution in the land. So they can handle it. They got it covered. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you think that your school isn't doing this type of stuff, you're out of your mind. But the reality is Ohio State got caught. They need to be disciplined for that. And the reason I felt like this was not really all that big of a deal is because it's not like you sent people out to go and get signs, Michigan fan. It's not like, you are out here trying to get some unfair advantage. Because again, not everybody was doing what Michigan was doing, and everybody is doing this. Everybody is trying to get in contact with players as soon as possible. Everybody wants to set up the meeting. Everybody wants to set up the visit. Everyone wants to make cool graphics. The difference is that not everybody can absorb the discipline the way the big boys can absorb it.
But I guess my point is, and maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, but you put a lot of stuff in your mouth these days. My question is,
Makes me want to puke.
Are you really telling me that you're not comparing this to Michigan?
Oh, Michigan fan is like, oh my God, burn me to the ground.
Yeah, they're doing a fire dance.
Yeah, dude, come on.
Right, like, and again, Michigan fan, we get it. You're bitter as hell. Jim Harbaugh looks terrible in powder blue. We get it.
He does.
But my point is, this is not even close to Michigan. It's not close. Let's not compare the two. Let's not be like, oh, well, all right, death penalty for Ohio State. Why did Bill O'Brien leave? Death penalty was coming, and he knew it.
Oh, no death penalty? Ryan Day's going to have to shave his beard, okay?
Lloyd Carr, terrible recruiting violations.
Man.
This is not that.
So please don't come out here ready to die on the hill of, oh, man, yeah, I told you it was Ohio State the whole time. I told you. When really, this is just them getting caught doing dumb things that ultimately I'm not sure we can confidently say gave them any type of advantage.
But can we at least admit that this is likely the tip of the iceberg?
100%. 100%.
If then.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're doing this, then what are we doing? What are we doing?
Monty, I just saw it on Twitter.
Oh,
One of the violations they self-reported was a coach reacting to a Twitter announcement that a player was coming to
but wasn't officially in the portal yet.
That's a violation.
Yep.
And if you're doing that, are you telling me when you see Jimmy Smith, the wide receiver, I'm going to put my name in the portal. I appreciate everything that Jim Bob Technical Institute of HVAC Repair taught me. But I've got to move on because I want to be a union electrician now.
Via social media.
You're telling me you're not reaching out to those kids. You're telling me the instant you see it on Insta Snapface that you're not like, okay, DM time.
Yeah, you're telling me that you didn't have a conversation with that kid 3 days ago to induce him to get into the portal, and then when he makes the announcement on Twitter that you're not gonna re-quote tweet that with celebration so that you look like an absolute buffoon because that player's not in the portal yet
on the platform formerly known as Twitter, now
Come
X.
on, guy.
This shit's going good.
Yeah, this is the tip of the iceberg. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
This is not the end of the world. I'm not telling you that these should have their stickers taken off their helmets. I'm not saying that.
Now, the comment section that we're about to dive into is getting burnt to the ground. I assure you of that.
Oh, Monty, you're just bitter.
Oh, Monty, you're an Ohio State fan. Where's the red shirt today?
Do you not think that my beloved are cheaters?
100%. Yeah.
If Notre Dame ain't cheating, I'm going to be disappointed.
This is your beloved.
I'll be disappointed when you get caught, but I'll be more disappointed if you never get caught because you weren't trying.
I don't regret those decisions.
Well, neither would I. And if it gets Marcus Freeman fired sooner, great. I want a coach who can count past 10. And yes, I am still bitter about that forever.
Speaking of Ohio State.
Speaking of and I wish you would pay them the proper deference.
Oh, yeah, the Lloyd Cars, man.
Like with Ryan.
With all due respect.
Ryan Day, also known as Lloyd Carr Incarnate. I don't think Lloyd's dead, so that's probably strong. But my point is, I think if you're not cheating, you're not trying, and I think this is the tip of the proverbial iceberg.
Buckeye.
We don't even the proverbial Buckeye.
Yeah.
Right. This is tattoos in Columbus. That's what this is. So I carefully say, let's delve into the comments section.
This is a code 10 abort.
And I'm a little hesitant. I've intentionally not pulled up the screen for the comments section.
What other angles can we work to avoid the comments section?
So
with all due respect, he does look terrible in powder blue. Like, can we all agree with that? Like, Jim Harbaugh is not a powder blue guy. He's not.
No, he's not a powder blue guy. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh is no.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I'm not going down this path. I'd rather get in the comments section and talk about Jim Harbaugh because now he's coaching my beloved quarterback,
Right.
like my guy,
Right.
And it's fine. The comments section, as always, presented by Prize Picks, prizepicks.com. Use the promo code Monty. You too can win like I won last night in dominant fashion. Screw you, Steph Curry. Steph Curry 0 of 7 from 3 in the first half, 18 points in the second half. Did he hit the 6 3-pointers I needed in the second half to take home $172?
No.
No, he didn't.
Oh, 4-18, Monty.
You think that's fun? Well, yeah. I won 3 for 3 last night.
I did, yeah. I ended on a demon, which was slick.
Let me tell you about this kind of guy. This guy walks in here this morning.
Fucking guy.
And the first thing he does.
Hey, Monty.
And I'm like, I had just put on a really nice fire pair of Air Jordan 5s, like with the Raging Bulls. Like I'm styling and profiling.
Right. You're dripping. Right.
I'm strutting.
Right. Standing on business.
Walk into the office this morning, studio looking pimp with these new lights. Like everything's great. He's like, hey, Monty. Guess I'm buying lunch today.
I'm for real.
3 for 3.
Yeah, and a demon.
I'm for real.
This guy wins like once a lifetime.
Hey, man.
He wins last night, and it was like, bro, listen, I'm on a heater. I'm on a heater, bro.
Listen,
Here
man.
at Prize Picks.
Listen, Donnie, for more than 21.5 Taco Tuesday discount.
Even though Johnny wasn't in the game when it was on the line. I mean, my guy came through on Taco
he did.
Tuesday.
28 points, needed more than 21.5. That's a win.
I won on that too.
Now, Luca.
Look, fat
Very
ass
fine line.
Don Cheech.
First team all, fat ass.
Don
gave
Cheech.
me 6 3-pointers last night.
Don Cheech.
Demon had 5.5.
Don Cheech.
And then Garrett Crochet and Bobby Miller did a great job by giving up a run in the first inning in a spring training game. $20 to win 120, man.
Is what it is. PrizePicks.com. I'm gonna beat wholesale ass on you today in Prize Picks. I don't care what it takes.
So you better check yourself.
You're betting baseball, spring training baseball. You're betting spring training baseball.
Okay.
Don't forget, we'll be at spring training on mid-March. Are we paying $400 to play Greyhawk?
That's tough, dude. I don't know. That's a lot.
We could play the Waste Management Phoenix Open TPC Scottsdale Stadium course for $775.
Bro.
$775.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
All right. Let's
Okay.
get into the bloodletting,
All right.
which
here we
is the
go.
comment section. First in, Payson Cougar fan. Well. Cougars 76, Jayhawks 68.
Well.
I wonder how many bet on the Cougs. How about last night? What did I tell you? I predicted it on the show yesterday. Told
This
you.
was going to happen. Taco.
No doubt about it. BYU. I said we're going to get boat raced. And what a win for BYU. An incredible performance. 76-68. And again, I just point out all the correct things that I didn't say yesterday.
Mhm.
You look at the performance that Dallin Hall put in. And isn't Dallin just the perfect BYU first name? Dallin Hall with 18 points, 3 of 6 from 3. More importantly, he hit 5 of 6 free throws, which is how BYU won the game last night. 19 of 24 from the free throw line. And because they got out rebounded, they got out assisted. But they did not turn the ball over. What a performance. Rock Chalk goes down in flames. And Bill Self was not.
Name, image, and likeness.
Bill Self was not amused last night.
No, he was not.
No, he was not. Gary, good morning. He says, "Suh, dude."
Yes, I did.
Mike Smith, dude, I saw you had some weather out yonder. Did you guys see that it was 73 degrees in Detroit? I think it was 73 in Detroit yesterday.
That's kind of crazy.
Did you guys see that? The East Coast weather right now has been crazy.
Yeah.
You have wildfires in Texas. And I don't know what you say about the weather in this country. And Monty, global warming's not real. You look at what's going on in West Virginia right now. Yeah, I was looking at the weather this morning Dude, there is a storm rolling through the Virginias this morning, and it is unbelievable. Columbus down to Charleston. Watch out, Philly, Baltimore, Washington. I know that we have a lot of people that watch this show in Philadelphia. But Morgantown right now is absolutely getting dick smacked by this storm. And it is huge. Dude, like
Macaque.
Yeah, be careful. Scranton.
Dude, that's wild, bro.
Scranton's getting wrecked. Pennsylvania's getting wrecked. You guys be careful. The weather is severe this time of year.
Yeah.
Mike Smith, third in the chat, first in like. Hit that like button when you come in. Yes, please. Hit the like button. Helps a lot. Mike Smith says BYU pulls the shocker, beats Kansas in their house. Great job by BYU. OG Gary, USC scandal, Michigan scandal, Pedo State scandal, Northwestern penis car wash scandal, Ohio State scandal. Damn, who's next? Rutgers? West Virginia Go Cougs says, great win, great game by BYU. Truly it was. Also says, will a double-digit seed win the tournament this year? I think we're starting to understand that that's really the nature of this. That it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is. Dakota. What's up, Dakota? Good to see you, my guy. Wait, they cheated and still couldn't beat Missouri? I know.
Dude.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Wild.
The Monty Ghost. Don't say chillax, Monty. You're far too old. Just chillax. What do you mean I'm far too old?
Yeah, what do you mean,
I'm
dude?
not far too old.
What are you talking about?
Eric Wasikowski, Plymouth Canton. NCAA can't even punish Tennessee, so NCAA is irrelevant. Well, just so you know.
No, Monty.
Am I making too much of that? That who is the NCAA?
Yeah. I don't think you're making too much of it. The NCAA is the schools. The NCAA is the people who run these schools. Like, it's
a bunch of people who made rules but don't want those rules applied to themselves, otherwise known as Tennessee,
Florida State,
certainly, Michigan. Hey, come on now. The Monty Show, the college football snore fest could be. Not going to bash Ohio State for the specific situation. However, they do have a history of violations with different coaches.
Correct.
Yes, they do.
That's facts.
D-Rock Irish, next school up to self-report. Yeah, probably. Well, Marcus Freeman took his shoes off. That's an NCAA violation.
Notre Dame, our mother.
Have you seen his toenails? Scott of Greywater Watch, cheaters, season doesn't count. Exactly. Cancel the Big Ten, nothing but rule breakers, says Harry Austin. Hello, San Antonio. The just got caught. They did. RJ Seaman. Until there are consequences for being a shithead program, why bother reporting it?
Whatever.
Exactly. Harry Austin says, good morning, Monty and Jake. Good morning, San Antonian. Good to see you. The Big Ten, where cheaters and perverts go to thrive.
Yes.
Dakota Tubbs, the NCAA, I don't make the rules. I just think them up and write them down.
That's right.
Washington State, go Cougs. Ohio State should sue after punishments handed down. Everyone is doing it.
Yeah, it's kind of the new trend. It's kind of the thing people do now. So
maybe
they will.
It is. It is what it is. Bailey Dietrich wants to know why you haven't played the Jim Harbaugh via social media.
I have played it today already.
Oh, you have? Okay.
I have, yeah.
Via social media.
Thank you. Mike Smith, facing away from the showers. Exactly.
Damn, bro.
Jake flipped from his time covering Michigan scandal that started with minor issues. Then other serious issues were discovered. That's what I'm saying. This is just the beginning. Jansen. What's up, Jansen? Insta Snapface should be a real app. That name is glorious.
Yeah.
It should be. Sean Rollins. Learning from other universities' penalties and knowing what you can do to stay relevant is happening.
100%,
for
dude.
sure.
100%.
No question about it. No question about it. I believe, yeah. Washcloth trick. Talk about the cool renderings, bro. We'll get to Ryan. I think you mean Ryan Smith. We'll get there. It is well known that the P4 schools are reaching out to G5 players. It's why this is a nothing burger. I don't know. Is it a nothing burger?
Who came up with nothing burger? Can I just ask that question?
Whatever that was you made yesterday. Jake brought in chicken burgers for lunch yesterday.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
They were really good, actually.
Freaking bomb.
I don't think this is a nothing burger.
No, it's never a nothing burger when there's violations. Like, violations of any kind are not a nothing burger, but I do think that I'm not here for the comparison game. Michigan fan wants to do all this, and I'm just like, dude, like this has nothing on what Michigan did, man.
Nothing. I agree. Let's see. Sean Rollins, one name is correct in the members only chat. Okay. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. I really don't know. Lil Jizzy, as long as you have fun, you're a winner. There you go. As long as you have fun. Sean Rollins, give Michigan fan a chance once a year. Mike Smith, you smell like old baloney. Listen, who doesn't have a little gas? Christopher Shannon, BYU. Exactly right. Big Blue Horses, the thing ranks right up there with the whole hot dog is a sandwich idea. It's dumb.
How many holes does a straw have?
And Wasikowski makes a good point. Hot dog is a sandwich. It is. Read the definition of it.
Where's Gabe when you need him?
Giggity. Check out the course at Weekapaw up by Fountain Hills. I was there a few years ago, and it was beautiful. Okay, we'll play Weekapaw instead.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful course. There's no question about it. Wasikowski for $5. Just making sure you guys saw who beat Chicago on Sunday night. We talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, see, you don't watch the show every day, so it's you missed it.
You missed it.
It's fine.
You missed it.
Yeah.
But, you're in Plymouth Canton. What would I expect? Sean Rollins, use the wrong porta potty and not the right ice on cake violation 671. Not the right icing on cake. Listen, Michigan used the wrong color yellow on their national championship celebration cake. Got to drop the hammer. Can't have this.
Death penalty.
Death penalty. Illumina Dursky. I'm just going to call you
Dursky.
Dursky. Who is the real governing body, the NCAA or the TV networks? Well,
here we go.
Dakota Tubbs, Hillary Clinton came up with Nothing Burger. Well, the emails that were never anything. Christopher Shannon, the tip of what? Exactly.
Bro.
Exactly.
Stay hard.
Exactly. Mike Smith, Hillary likes fish. I've heard that.
Macaque.
I'm a big cod fillet fan.
Right.
RJC, man, Jake, stop the BS. You were beating Michigan up all season long. It's not about comparisons. It's about consistency. Go right ahead, Jake.
Yeah, please. Consistency. You want to talk about consistency.
They did consistently.
Ohio State does a great job of being consistent. They consistently lose to programs who cheat by going and stealing their signs and sending people out to other stadiums to do that. They're really consistent at that. They're really consistent at breaking recruiting violations that are level 3, not level 1. And by the way, they're not as proficient and consistent at losing their head coach to the NFL after he burned their program to the ground. So my bad. Sorry. My bad for not being as consistent as Ohio State is at doing these things. That's, totally my fault. I'll have to look at the tape and try to improve my performance.
Yeah, if you could be fair and balanced like Tucker Carlson and Pooty, that'd be great.
Jackass.
I mean, Dakota Tubbs demands that you are fair and balanced. Okay. Giggity, I see Wasikowski changed his avatar. Gee, I wonder why. Did he? Let's see. Where is Wasikowskinator? What is his avatar now? It's a fentanyl tablet on top of a dude.
Okay.
Okay is a hell of a drug.
Whatever gets you going.
Yeah, man. If that's your morning coffee, I guess that's cool.
I see how you roll. Go off, Jake.
What kind of dumb comment is that, dude?
Listen,
with all due respect.
Jake, you're a racist because you don't like Michigan.
Come on, bro.
You were pretty hard on Michigan.
Yeah, I was. They deserved it.
Because they deserved it.
Come on, dude. You
guys,
seriously.
I mean, the bias on this show. You're such a Big Ten show.
Oh my God.
You guys, do you even watch Big Ten football?
No. Nope. Too busy watching Jim Harbaugh press conferences where he was always going to leave your ass for the NFL.
Dakota Tubbs, Hillary 4 fingers for the fillet of fish. Hillary got the fingers for the fillet of fish. Dude, have you had the fillet of fish? Just telling you, I'm out of ground turkey. Maybe we get a fillet of fish for lunch. Boyd Lake, yo, bros.
Dude.
Dad. Go Cougs. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, please. Really helps the channel grow. RJC, man, Jake, may I suggest stay free? You're leaking all over the set.
What does that even mean?
No idea. Welcome to the nightmare. Jake consistently spitting facts. But the truth about this is not. There's no comparison between Ohio State and Michigan. If you're just tuning in and waking up this morning, good morning. Welcome to the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at Big O Tires and American Fork. We have a pretty mild Ohio State scandal.
Scandal, burn it to the ground.
Is Ohio State getting a free pass? Is what Ohio State did comparable to Michigan? We'll answer that question in 30 seconds.
Hi, my name is Ryan at Big O Tires and American Fork. We're sponsoring Jake Retzlaff right now with the interview at the Monty Show. Filters, struts, shocks, brakes, lifts. You need to replace your motor, transmission, anything you need in your car, we do here at Big O Tires and American Fork. We offer 12 months no interest financing, and we make sure you get taken care of. Whether you're a BYU fan or not, we will take care of you. If you have any questions, once again, my name is Ryan. Give me a call at 801-756-6000. We'll give you all your quotes and needs. We can do it over the phone, and we do price match guarantees, so give us a call and let us earn your business.
Let them earn your business. Support small business. Support small business. You go into Big O Tires and American Fork. That is a small business owner that is grinding, that is doing a great job. And by the way, he's one of the best supporters of BYU athletics. If you're a BYU fan, Jake Retzlaff on the show every Thursday morning at 7:30. Thanks to our friend Ryan at Big O Tires and American Fork. Whether you need tires, obviously it's Big O Tires. You know they're one of the best tire brands in the country. But when you go into Big O Tires and American Fork, they're supporting their local community. Ryan is consistently giving to charity. He's consistently in the community working. He's a family man with his kids and his family. You guys, this is a good dude doing good business in our community. Support Big O Tires in American Fork for all of your car care needs. Hook it up at Big O Tires. Is this Ohio State situation anything close to Michigan? It's not. We're talking about multiple scandals. Now, the Jim Harbaugh situation where he met with a kid during the COVID down period, okay, sure, you could probably compare the two, but Ohio State self-reported Jim Harbaugh did everything he could do to torpedo that investigation. They said he was dishonest. He didn't cooperate, and ultimately it got him another level 1 violation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's comparable. I mean, Lloyd Carr at Ryan Day dressed,
Don't you know who I am?
You can't tell me there's no comparison between Lloyd Carr and Ryan Day.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yeah.
Ryan Day self-reported and is cooperated and took penalties.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say Ryan Day understands how to break the rule, self-report, and not have major discipline come your way. And again, notice, Michigan fan, RJC man, all these guys that want to jump in our comments section and try to roast us for some apparent inconsistency on how we view Michigan and Ohio State. Notice I haven't said they don't deserve discipline. They do deserve discipline. You broke the rule. You got caught red-handed, right? You did something you weren't supposed to do. However, it doesn't compare to what Michigan did. You're talking about the FBI being involved at Michigan. This thing at Ohio
It's a big
State
deal.
is hardly what Michigan did. However, they should get disciplined. Whether you self-report it or not, you should get disciplined, and they have on some of them, and then other ones, the NCAA is still working on it. But I just think that if you think that most schools aren't doing this type of thing, where they're talking to kids before the kid actually gets in the portal, they're doing that type of thing. That's happening every single day. Now the stupidity known as posting on social media, that you're celebrating this kid getting in the portal before that kid's actually in the portal, that's just pure stupidity. Like, you didn't gain any type of advantage by doing that. You're just a buffoon. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's not comparable to Michigan, so let's just stop that right now. But I also think this is who we are in college football now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is what it is.
It's what we talked about when we were talking about Michigan, is that in college football now, like, the game in the offseason is, hey, how good at cheating are you? Right? And that's what my main
How
point
far
was.
over the line can I go before I get in trouble?
Yeah.
And Ohio State, again, I'm just going to say what I believe is true. My opinion is that Ohio State has done far more than we know.
Yes.
And I don't believe, like, this situation with this kid in the portal. Their story is that they contacted him after they saw he tweeted, but before he officially put his name in the portal, which is a violation. I don't believe that for a second. I mean, that's the easy story. It's a level 3 violation. You essentially have to go home early and make sure you drink some unsweetened tea for the afternoon. That's the punishment, right? It's a nothing punishment.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's what happened. I think that overwhelmingly, there's, how shall I say this? 9 out of 10 kids know where they're going before they get in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Did Will Howard know he was going to the E before he got in the portal? I don't think he did. But I think he had spoken to them before he got in the portal.
Yeah.
I think there is no question that if you are a big-time transfer, do you think Caleb Downs knew where and what he was doing before he transferred? I'm going to say he did. Do you think Will Howard had an eye on Ohio State before he transferred? Think Will Howard watched that Notre Dame-Ohio State game?
Mm-hmm.
I think he did. How would you not have contact beforehand?
Yeah. Yeah.
You forget how big yet small the football community is. I just think it happens every day with every school. Does that mean Ohio State's worse than? No, it doesn't. But let's not play like Ohio State, man. They're wearing their whites and they're just pristine. They're not. They're the behemoth of college athletics.
Yeah.
And they do what they want to do. And if you don't like what they do, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. That's the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
The very big difference here is with Michigan, obviously, Michigan couldn't beat Ohio State. They had to go to lengths that we had not really seen in current modern times because they couldn't beat Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State, if we take it at face value, these are level 3 violations. What Jim Harbaugh did at Burger Joint was not really that big of a deal.
No.
It became a bigger deal because you tried to cover it up. Cover-up's always worse than the crime.
Yes.
That's why you self-report this shit and you say, hey, I didn't do anything wrong. This is no big deal. No big deal. Photo array, Chris Henry Jr., his dad passed, Pac-Man Jones. We're just trying to help the kid feel better. Thoughts and prayers. Oh, okay. Level 3 violation. You guys are good. You know what? Brian Hartline, we're going to need you to go home and make some tater tots. You're not allowed to use ranch. You have to use mustard on those tater tots. Sorry. That's the price you pay when you give photo arrays to Guardians. Mustard on your tots.
Nice Canva account.
Right? Everybody wants it to be a big deal, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. RJC man, Ohio State's been cheating for years. Okay, where's the proof?
Yeah, what proof? This is what I mean, dude. You're a Michigan guy.
Let him talk.
Okay, please indulge us, please. What proof?
No, go ahead. RJC. Playing your theme music right now. But they've been cheating for. How do you know? You know how I know Michigan's been cheating for years? You know how I know. There's hard evidence. He says Tattoo Gate. Oh, I mean.
Man, wow, dude.
Tattoo Gate.
Tattoo Gate's got nothing on all those vacuums on Buddy's front porch.
Welcome to the nightmare. If you break the rules, you should get punished. Cheating is, I believe, rampant in college football. Totally agree. It's just who gets caught and how far you are going. You can't compare thee to what Michigan
100%,
did.
100%,
No, you can't.
dude.
Totally
Again,
agree.
I'm not denying that Ohio State's doing far worse than this. What I am passionately saying is Ohio State is way better at bending / breaking the rules than Michigan is. Fracturing, spraining, right? They understand how not to break the leg, just sprain it and then wrap that thing up.
You don't
dude.
need to sweep the leg.
Yeah,
here, kid.
bro.
Who are you, Cobra Kai?
Yeah, come on.
I think that's HIPAA.
Deontay Carter for $10. I'm an Ohio State fan, and what Ohio State did was wrong, and they deserve to be punished. If anything else comes to fruition regarding NCAA violations on Ohio State's part, they should be punished.
I agree. The problem is nothing else is going to come of it because they're awesome at covering it up and understanding how to play the game.
Michigan is not.
Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Matt, and Matt Weiss, listen, I don't know you. I wouldn't be hello?
Don't you know who I am?
Committing federal crimes, allegedly.
Allegedly.
On a Michigan computer mainframe in the Michigan football department. Now,
Buddy went to the computer class.
I'm just
freaking
listen.
crimes.
I'm just little old Monty over here.
Hey, Monty.
But if you see Matt Weiss walking into a computer bodega somewhere in a third world country, I'd probably leave.
That motherfucker don't miss,
because
man.
Treadstone's coming for that ass. And listen, vacuum guy, sign stealer guy.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is crazy talk.
Sign stealer guy.
You probably don't want to use the Venmo account in your own name.
Vacuums are my thing.
You probably don't want to use the Ticketmaster account, publicly available in your own name.
What are you doing?
But Monty, they didn't do anything. Then why'd they fire him? Well, they caught him with vacuums on his front porch. We take HOA violations very seriously here in Michigan. You don't go to HOA meetings and talk to people like that, vacuum guy. But he was on the sideline at Western Michigan. Prove it.
Central.
Oh, Central Michigan. Bet. Right.
Well, but Jim McElwain didn't know who he was.
Bet.
I mean, come on.
Free Harbaugh. 4 more years.
Come on, dude. Come on, dude.
Bet.
You guys were so desperate to keep Jimmy.
Bet.
That you gave him the biggest deal that anyone's ever seen, and he still said no. No, they didn't do anything
Let me get this
wrong.
right. Let me get this right. You guys made out. Right to the edge. And then he's like, I'm not that kind of girl.
No.
And then he went to San Diego, Los Angeles, Wales, Regina, and you guys are like, whoa, I thought we had something. Jimmy, I'm a Michigan fan. I went on the Monty program and defended you. How can you leave and do exactly what Monty said you were going to do? How can you do this to me? Monty. And worse yet, Fat Chip Kelly face is now the OC. And now they're going to be better than us again. Jimmy, please come back. Buy them recruits more burgers, boy.
Okay.
We should probably.
So again, Ohio State is not comparable to Michigan, like we were saying.
RJC, man, more music, Jake, boy. Oh, he called you boy.
Oh,
he called you boy.
Wow.
Ooh.
In the comment section, should I be offended by being called boy?
Hey, boy. After the investigation found OSU administrators failed their student athletes, a judge refused to name the administrators. Oh, that's cool.
Wow, that's a hell of a lot of proof, dude.
Jansen says Treadstone. Mike Smith says Treadstone.
Listen, it's getting upgraded to Blackbriar. We just need another court hearing. Come on.
You better tie it off
dude.
in Columbus. You better tie this thing off.
I want our local asset to confirm that Jim's no longer in Ann Arbor. Okay.
Listen, we're professionals. When things go bad, we tie it off. I watched a whole bunch of Jason Bourne this weekend. Mike Smith, notice how Ohio State fans realized what they did was wrong versus Michigan fans dying on their swords to defend Michigan. Jim Harbaugh is a good man. He would never leave us. We're going to move over there to California. And you see all the homeless drug addict people? What do you mean he already left for San Diego, Wales, Regina, and LA? Justin Herbert's a better man than you are.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Herbert's no J.J. McCarthy, but, you know.
Jimmy would never leave us. Stop with the references. I'm trying to drink my coffee. Jansen also says, Jesus Christ, it's Jim Harbaugh. He actually said Jason Bourne. Yeah. Jesus, Michigan fans like, Jesus Christ, it's Chip Kelly. Oh, my God. It's terrible. OG Gary, Buddy is having an aneurysm. RJC, man, I just worry about your health. I worry about you. John DeLon, hey, boy, make me some flapjacks.
Yeah.
Hey, boy.
I'm going to get medieval on your ass.
Michigan fan always loses their mind in the comments section. Dakota Tubbs, hey, RJC, man, you stole Missouri's M like you all stole signs and vacuums.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mike Smith, it's mother effing Catalina wine. It's the Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah.
For crying out loud. Jansen, some dude, I'm laughing so hard my roommates might wake up. Sorry, bro. Just a Monty program. My bad. Anyway, real quick, speaking of free Harbaugh.
Yeah.
There is some belief that Bet is going to be the best quarterback in this draft. Speaking of vomit, is there any chance that free Harbaugh is the best quarterback in this draft?
He'd have to find the perfect situation. Like his path to success in the league would be very much up the Brock Purdy alley, where you've got a guy who maybe doesn't have the biggest arm, maybe doesn't have like the most intangibles, maybe isn't the most talented, but gets into a situation where he can sit for 2 seasons and learn, and then he can step into that role under a system that really is fine-tuned to cater to him and puts him in positions to be successful. And yeah, I think if that's the case, then yeah, I think he'd be successful. But I don't think just on raw talent and ability to go out and win a ball game, I'm not taking J.J. McCarthy over C.J. Stroud. I'm not taking J.J. McCarthy over,
Drake May.
No, probably not. Drake May is a gunslinger, man. The guy's got a huge arm. And to that end, if he can just keep it together mentally and understand the system and stay out of trouble and be what, franchise level quarterbacks are, Drake May is going to be fine. I have no doubt.
But here's the problem. Overwhelmingly, bet has been linked to the Denver Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
So let me get this right. You're going to replace a huge problem you've had with free Harbaugh? You're going to replace Russ with free Harbaugh. I don't see that he projects as a starting quarterback in the NFL. Hey, I'm just little old Monty over here, right?
But I think what we do in the media and just as fans is we say, hey, well, he won a national championship. He's been in the picture every single year that he's been there. Like, this guy should be a franchise level guy. And what I'm saying is that that's all fine and dandy that he won a championship at Michigan.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that he was it's not like he carried them.
Everybody is saying that. And we were saying that.
Yeah.
But everybody's saying that. Like Mel Kiper the other day on ESPN saying he wasn't the main driver of that offense. What I think he will be in the NFL is one of the most ridiculous things I think I've ever heard.
Yeah.
What is the best predictor of future performance? Past performance is your best predictor of future performance.
Yeah.
And it's wild to me that we think free Harbaugh, who I agree is a dual threat, and I think he is very accurate on the run, but this is a guy that, in my opinion, is not a franchise level quarterback. Now, you want to talk about Drake May, like Jaden Daniels at LSU, I just simply worry about the fact that he weighs 36 pounds.
Yeah.
I worry about how slight he is. But if you look at the latest mock drafts, you're going to take Bet at 12 to the Broncos? That is crazy to me that you're going to take him over a Terrion Arnold, one of the best cover corners in this draft. And I don't think anybody disputes that. You're going to take him over Brock Bowers, who I think could be a game-changing tight end wide receiving talent.
But like Terrion Arnold is a great example. Like that's a guy that could come in and make an impact for you right away.
Yes.
And that's the thing that I look at in the draft when I say, hey, like for the Broncos, Russ, you just need to figure out Russ. The guy clearly didn't just forget how to play football, dude. Like there's clearly an issue there that needs to be resolved. And if you burn, what did you say? They're 12th overall?
12th, Denver.
Like, dude, if you burn a number 12 overall pick on free Harbaugh so he can sit behind Russ for another season or two, that's a really interesting conundrum when you consider the fact that Russ isn't trying to be there a long time. He can say, oh, well, I want to win Super Bowls and I want to do all this great stuff. But the reality is we know how the league works, man. Look at the guys that get traded. Like, look at Justin Fields. They're going to trade him and draft Caleb Williams. Like, that's to me a foregone conclusion because that's what the Bears do, right? You're going to start over again. That's not going to fix any of your problems if you can't protect the guy. Just the same way, if you draft Bet at 12, he's not going to turn into some franchise guy under Russ Wilson, who is a guy that is known to not want to develop players.
Ciara's husband, please.
Yeah, dude. Like, go Hawks my ass, dude.
I think it's very interesting as well. Who's the last great franchise iconic quarterback from Michigan? And everybody's first thought's going to be, Tom Brady. What did Tom Brady do at Michigan? Absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm. And then what did his path look like, right? You went
26th round.
Yeah.
You know, like Tom Brady was not a star at Michigan. Okay, I'll give you Tom Brady. Who else? Michigan doesn't routinely put out franchise quarterbacks.
Jimbo.
Why do you think? Well, Jimmy. But why do you think I'm terrified of Caleb Williams to the Chicago Bears?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd Caleb Williams go?
USC.
Well, Oklahoma, bro. He went to USC. And it's terrifying to me. Now, his skill set's a little different. His game is perfectly tailored for the NFL. Scares me a little bit. Why am I worried about Caleb Williams? Because I think the Bears are probably going to end up trading Justin Fields. Was talking to an old friend in Chicago who was telling me that the Bears, in fact, most people believe, have had serious conversations with New England and with the Atlanta Falcons. But I think New England's going to take Drake May, and that's going to be the end of that. And I think the Atlanta Falcons want to trade for Justin Fields. And the Bears are going to wind up probably with Caleb Williams, who they're meeting with at the Combine tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. That is terrifying to me. And I'm not making the case to keep Justin Fields, but I'm certainly not making the case to take bet at number 12 for the Broncos.
100%.
Because I think that is a huge mistake.
Foolish.
Huge mistake. OG Gary, the Burrs could draft Caleb and Neighbors, which would be huge. I would trade the number 1 pick. I would just, and I think if I am the Chicago Bears, I would trade the number 1 pick. They have 2 picks. I think, what do they have? 1 and 9. Pick up a 3rd first-round pick in the top 10. Transform your offense. I think at that point, you can sign a free agent quarterback. And I was looking at free agent quarterbacks yesterday. And the crop is not great. Let's not kid ourselves.
Right.
But I think when you look at it's not an option, in my opinion, to keep Justin Fields. It is not. But when I look at the free agent quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins very clearly, now he's going to have to recover from an injury, and that's your guy. But are you telling me you can't build a bridge with Ryan Tannehill for a year or 2? I would do that, because I think when you look at the rankings, those are the 2 quarterbacks you can build something on. Jacoby Brissett, Jameis Winston. I would not have Jameis Winston on my football team, especially after the bullshit he pulled at the goal line there.
Yeah, that's a
I'm not,
disgrace.
and that's why he's not going back. But Gardner Minshew's a career backup. Baker Mayfield's not a guy that I think you're investing significantly in.
No, they're going to sign him long term, though.
Right? I think they probably
Baker's
will.
going to get a deal.
Ryan Tannehill and Kirk Cousins are the 2 quarterbacks that you can be like, all right, that's a really nice bridge.
Well, and you look at what's happening in Minnesota, like this Justin Jefferson stuff is pretty wild, dude.
But
like,
I think this Justin Jefferson story is a bunch of nothing about nothing. There is no credible information outside of, message board warrior and, hey, look at me, I'm a source guy, to believe that the Minnesota Vikings are going to trade Justin Jefferson. There is nothing there. ESPN is reporting the exact opposite. I think if you look at what Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah said, the general manager of the Minnesota Vikings, he flatly denied trading Justin Jefferson. Flatly denied it. And I think when you look at the ridiculousness and you look at the idea that the Vikings are trading him, you look at what ESPN's reporting. They're reporting that Justin Jefferson and the Vikings were about $1 million apart last summer and couldn't get a deal done. And now you have the general manager saying trading him is not something that once crossed my mind.
Which, again, I part of it is like, hey, what else would he say? Number 1. But number 2, I believe him. I mean, that's a pretty genuine quote. I personally believe him. And I think that the problem is the Vikings have a track record of trading wide receivers in their prime. That's the problem. And so Diggs goes to Buffalo, which is how you acquire Justin Jefferson ultimately.
Yeah.
And now there's speculation. So this goes one of 2 ways. You're either going to do the deal and people are going to say you're not good to your word, or you're going to lock him up
right.
and you're going to overpay for him now because he's got the leverage, and it is what it is. That's just how it works.
You can't tell me that if you are the general manager of the Minnesota Vikings, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, you cannot tell me you're going to go this hard on the record and then trade Justin Jefferson.
No way. And you're certainly not trading him to the Chiefs.
Because you have complete control over him for the next 3 seasons minimum. They picked up his 5-year, right? And you've got 2 tags.
Yeah.
Why would you? There's no reason to do that. You can make him the highest paid wide receiver ever, which is what it is said that they want. Adolfo-Mensah said straight up, we've never thought about trading him. He is the best receiver in the NFL, and he should be paid commensurate to that, is what they said about him in Minnesota.
I agree.
And the only report, and I was talking to an NFL friend of mine, the report came from Fansided. Fansided is one of the worst portals. It's fans giving, they don't pay their writers, and their fans given the opportunity to write about their team. And that's who wrote this, that the Chiefs are close. Where's the NFL source on any? Do you think if the Chiefs were about to trade for Justin Jefferson that Adam Schefter would know about it? I would think he would.
I would think he would.
I would think the myriad of NFL Network guys would know about it.
Yeah.
But Kevin Seifert, the NFL Vikings reporter for ESPN, flatly panned it. Said absolutely not. There is no chance. Now, I think the bigger question in Kansas City, what are you doing with L'Jarius Sneed? Because this is the best cover corner in the NFL. And you have to find a way to keep him. It sounds like they're going to tag him or trade him. And I think that is going to be a significant issue.
Mm-hmm.
You have to upgrade the wide receiver position. There's no doubt about that in Kansas City. L'Jarius Sneed is going to be one of those guys you're going to be like, yeah, that's the one that got away. That's the one that got away.
Mm-hmm.
And already he's being linked to Detroit, which I think is exactly, the perfect fit. They need him in Detroit. Their big play, they're so susceptible, and they gave up so many big plays. At the end of the day, it's why they didn't win the NFC.
Yeah.
L'Jarius Sneed's a great fit there. I wouldn't let him go if I'm Kansas City.
No.
That is just, but you're in this place where you're in this dynasty run now, and you can only pay so many people, and you got to get Patty help.
Yep.
You're going to have attrition on the offensive line that you're going to have to replace. If you keep Sneed, you're probably losing Chris Jones, and I think they're going to pay Chris Jones. But L'Jarius Sneed's a hell of a football player.
Yes.
And I don't know how you don't re-sign the guy. I really don't. And I think that the avenue for L'Jarius is you're going to put a tag on him and then you're going to trade him.
100%. Yeah.
And I understand it. Listen, I'm not saying that it doesn't make football sense to tag Sneed and then trade him. It does. You're going to miss that cat on defense. He allows you to blitz with peace of mind. And that's a very rare thing in the NFL. He's that good at corner.
Yeah.
And he makes play that strip fumble, that punch out that he had. Like, you look at the way he plays in the biggest moments. I want that guy on my team.
Yes.
I want that guy on my team. And it's just, it is a big, big deal. Let's see. Where are you guys at on all this stuff? Dakota Tubbs. OG Gary is a very credible source. Very credible.
Yeah.
Many I forgot about. Good call on Pickett. Who's Pickett? Let's see. Mike Smith, Jake Locker, Christian Ponder, Tim Tebow, all QBs that were overdrafted. Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Dude. The overdrafting of hello, Mitch Trubisky. Like the over.
Yeah, but he helped you get to the playoffs. What?
Do you guys see what I deal with?
How was that incorrect?
Do you see
it's
what
not
I
Mitch
deal with?
Trubisky's fault that Buddy couldn't make a field goal.
I say things on this show. And then I have to deal with Flapjack Boy over here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, he helped you get to the playoffs. Mitch Trubisky is one of the worst draft picks in the history of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. You know, Mr. Double Doink, and I'm not going to say his name on the show ever again, but Mr. Double Doink, yeah, that hurt. But what happened after that? What happened? Mitch Trubisky was slurping glizzies and jizzies like there was no tomorrow. Freudian slip. But the point is, you look at all of the quarterbacks that are missing. Quarterback is the most dangerous draft position in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
Always has been, always will be. And it's why you scratch your head at teams where Justin Herbert was your guy. You paid him and you hired a defensive coordinator. Oh, that went horribly wrong. And he started hinting he wanted to leave. Oh, so you hired the best available quarterback guru you could get in Jim Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this. If your boy from Lubbock had wound up with the Bears, right? Patrick Mahomes is not Patrick Mahomes today if he had gone to the Bears, because the Bears don't know how to handle quarterbacks.
Facts.
And you have a defensive coordinator as your head coach. Ebersucks is still there. And you've run through how many offensive coordinators? And I'd also remind you that Nagy was your head coach who was supposedly an offensive guru, and it's one of the worst hires in the history of the Chicago Bears because he was never going to be a head coach. And then you built an offense that went against everything that Mitch Trubisky was good at. That's why Patrick Mahomes succeeded in Kansas City, but would have been a bust in Chicago.
Absolutely. 100%. It's not hard to understand.
It ain't rocket science. You know what I'm saying? Get Cousins. I agree. The Bears need Joe Flacco. Nobody needs Joe Flacco. Let's see. Dakota Tubbs says, OG Gary's a very credible source. Steve Stepanek. It's just how it comes out. I've heard that before. You have to have a good front office and culture and a great coaching staff first. And we don't.
No,
we don't. We don't. OG Gary, why hasn't he signed Justin Jefferson to a longer-term deal? We tried last summer, and they were $1 million, $2 million apart. And I think they lost money on that deal. They had signed JJ last summer. It would have been cheaper than this summer because now you got to figure out if Justin Jefferson wants to be there.
Yeah.
Big question. And again, I know this is going to piss off BYU Nation, but Jaron Hall's not your quarterback of the future.
Oh, but Monty, he's an all-time great at BYU. Come on.
He hasn't performed, and he hasn't been healthy. Oh, that's funny. That's exactly what happened at BYU. Am I wrong?
No,
he was oft injured at BYU.
Yeah, he was hurt a lot.
Now, he performed. He was a phenomenal player at BYU when he wasn't hurt. But look at the play where he got hurt at the goal line against SC. Gets in the game for the Vikings, concussion, this, that. That's not your quarterback of the future. Again, we can go up and down. You know it when you see it.
Yeah.
Burrowhead Stadium, no question about it.
No question.
Justin Herbert, no question about it. What are the Saints going to do? Well, the Saints are probably trying to draft that 36-pound boulder from LSU.
Mm-hmm.
That's what OG Gary wants anyway.
Of course. That's what all Saints fans want.
Or you can just hang on to Derek Carr and Jameis Winston. Although they've said they're not bringing Winston back, but it is what it is, right? Dakota, so maybe trading Justin crosses his mind not once, but twice. I don't think they ever would have. I don't think they would ever trade him. If he walks away, you can play the victim.
Mm-hmm.
If you trade him and he goes on to win 2 Super Bowls, that's tough to swallow.
Yes, it is.
Because let's be honest. Is Minnesota that organization where you're like, man, they're going to do everything they have to do to win a Super Bowl? Yeah, I didn't think so.
Not really.
Either. No, I don't think so either. I really don't. Christopher Shannon, for what? What would you get in turn? That's a big question. Huge question. Harry Austin, how good is that wide receiver without a quality QB? Well,
yeah, I mean, there's some of that, no doubt.
But if you exchange Kirk Cousins and you slide in Patrick Mahomes, how much better is Justin Jefferson?
Yes.
Stefon Diggs. If Stefon Diggs goes somewhere other than Buffalo, is it any fails? Was that Josh Allen made him good, or was that Diggs who wasn't good? I don't know.
Well, I'm inclined to say Diggs, considering the drops he had. But
Mike Smith, Chiefs would not pay Hill what he wanted. Well, did you guys see the Tyreek Hill story?
Dude, I don't know what Buddy's doing.
He's being sued in a civil case for breaking a woman's leg in a football demonstration. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. An influencer's leg in a football demonstration. You know. Michigan isn't going to have a record for drafted players. Just because Michigan's defense played lights out don't mean they all will be drafted. We'll find out.
We'll see.
Only time will tell. Shams reported it, didn't he? I don't believe he did. OG Carey, trade cap ass for Jefferson. Well, what a weird dude. What a weird dude. Wasikowski. Detroit is linked to Daniel Hunter and Snead. Well, I don't think Hunter is not the guy I'd be chasing. He's not the guy I'd be chasing. Is he an upgrade? We can argue about that.
Yeah.
L'Jarius Sneed is the guy that you need. And you're not going to get both. And Daniel Hunter is a guy, well, we'll see. Dakota Tubbs. They're going to tag him and probably sign Chris Jones, which is the wrong move. Oh, I think it's the exact right move. We need to sign Steed and let Chris walk. He's getting too old. Did you? He's getting too old.
See, this is the problem, Dakota. You don't appreciate what he's doing for you. And by the way, didn't know you were a Chiefs fan in addition to being a Missouri fan.
Did you watch Chris Jones in the Super Bowl? I know we're going to get crazy and probably lose our Kansas City barbecue loving minds.
Oh, you guys even watch Chiefs games?
Chris Jones is the reason you won the Super Bowl. Because if he doesn't have those 3-4 snaps, 2 in particular that force Brock Purdy to the right, you don't win the Super Bowl. Pretty simple. You don't win the Super Bowl. Period. RJC man says Snead reminds me of Darryl Green. Well, let's not go comparing people to Darryl Green, because Darryl Green was a completely different player. They don't match physically, in my opinion. Their builds are different. The game is different. The Deion, Darryl Green, that generation of corner, you're different. It's a totally different thing. Darryl Green? Like, do you even know who Darryl Green is?
No, never heard of him.
There you go. Why? Like, you're comparing a player from the 80s. I just don't like that comparison. Offseason is a blast. So many rumors and trade possible acquisitions. I agree. Agree on Snead, Monty. Totally. Monty, tell Jake who Darryl Green is, please. Boy,
Why?
You're just out for Jake today. Washington State, go Cougs. Sources have told me Snead is going to the Seahawks. Mike Smith. Hate the Skins, but always respected Darryl Green. Hell of a player. He was a hell of a player. Hell of a player. Jones is our priority over Snead. Not sure we can keep both. I don't think you can keep both. I mean, you have too many needs, and I think Andy Reid is the exact right guy in this conversation. Your defense is great. Spags is great. Schematically, play calling, performer is great.
Mm-hmm.
That team wins and loses with offense. Patrick Mahomes, you're going to have attrition on the offensive line. Going to have to replace that. You've got probably a need for 2 significant wide receivers.
Yes.
Travis Kelce is not capable of carrying the receiving load anymore. And you're going to have to find a way to replace Weirdo on the outside. And if we're being honest, you don't need to pay a receiver what the Dolphins paid Tyreek. But you got to go find your next Tyreek Hill, because you need him on this team.
Absolutely.
You need him on the team.
Patty needs weapons, man.
Yeah. Double doink. I'm not going to say his name. Christopher Shannon, you're not. You're not. Trubisky slurping jizzies. My lord,
That's
what
right,
did I
baby.
just hear? Here. Exactly.
Okay.
Right. Mike Smith, Jamarcus was probably the main reason they did a rookie salary cap. I can throw the ball 70 yards.
Hey, Monty.
Sitting on my fat ass while sipping the purple drink. That guy. Jeez.
Too bad.
Hey, Bear is overrated.
Okay, next comment. I'm not. We ain't got time for this.
All that talent, and he's subpar every year. Okay, he's subpar.
You know, why did you have to do this, man? Why did you have to comment on this?
He's subpar. Now, you may not know this, that Justin Herbert and I are textually engaged.
Oh, you are? Okay.
That's my Oak State James, right? Jake in Oak State James.
Yeah, Justin really drives it down the field for you, huh? Really hits
Splits the uprights.
Hits the A gap, you know?
He played 13 games last year.
Okay.
3,000 yards, 3,134, 20 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. In just 13 games, he was sacked 29 times. Oh, man, he sucks. Okay. 17 games in both 21 and 22. 4,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. 68% completion. Sacked 38 times.
Jeez.
Sacked last year 6% of his snaps, 5% of his snaps, 4% of his snaps in 2021. So, I mean, he sucks, but the offensive line was clearly going in the wrong direction, but he sucks. 31 sacks in 2021, 32 sacks as a rookie in 4 seasons. 4! Not 3, 4!
Yeah.
130 sacks.
The answer is yes.
And it's
How are you saying he sucks? Like, come on.
and he sucks.
Come on.
He's averaging 30 sacks a year, and he sucks. For his career, he's got 17,000 farking yards in 4 seasons, and he sucks.
Right.
He completes 67% of his passes on his career, and he sucks. He's thrown the ball in 4 years 2,422 times, and he sucks. Do you think about this shit before you type it?
Clearly not.
And he sucks.
You don't always have to be negative.
And he sucks.
People will read your positive shit.
I can't believe
Man,
that
if he
they've
sucks, then I want to be that kind of quarterback.
Well, I just don't understand. Like, how do you allow this guy to run for 11 touchdowns in 4 years? So he's not somebody that, runs a whole hell of a lot.
Right.
Right. But he's got 81 rushing first downs in 4 years. That's 20 a year. He sucks.
Terrible.
Like, do you understand that you can get help for addiction? You seek help out
We're not making any changes.
before you comment stuff like Herbert is overrated.
Yeah, nice.
All
dude.
that talent, and he's subpar every year.
Haters.
He's subpar every year. What do you want me to say to that?
Nothing, because there ain't nothing to say.
What does he want? Oh, more enlightenment. Justin Herbert, and excuse me, it's pronounced Hey Bear, and he's the sex machine. Puts up stats that don't translate to wins. Like all those sacks. When it matters, even when he has the better team, he is another Kirk Cousins stat patter. So let me just understand. He has a small child as a starting running back who they've not tagged, and they're not going to re-sign Austin Eckler because they just found out that he's shorter than Kyler Murray and he's not a quarterback. You have arguably one of the worst offensive lines in football. Who's his best wide receiver? Probably Keenan Allen.
Probably
Keenan Allen. So, and I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend because I'm the guy who says that Justin Herbert. You said he's subpar.
Yeah. I don't know what football you're watching, bro.
On a 9-8 football team with Brandon Staley as his head coach in 2021, Justin Herbert threw for 5,000 fucking yards, 38 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, a 2.2 interception ratio. Man, he sucks. 66% of his passes, he threw the ball 672 times. Oh, he's just a stat patter, bro. Austin Eckler, Justin Jackson.
Yeah.
Those are his running backs. And again, just because, We don't know anything about nothing on this show.
Right. Well, we don't watch football. I mean, that's that's clear.
I should.
It is what it is.
What do you can't. Do you understand who his wide receivers are? Do you understand who his wide receivers are?
Dude. Oh.
His wide receivers. Who was his number one wide receiver in 2021?
Mike Evans? Just kidding. That's who it should be.
Jalen Guyton.
I'm sorry, who?
But you know who his number one receiver per yards was? Austin fucking Eckler.
Because it's garbage.
So he threw for 5,000 yards with Austin Eckler as his number one receiver. Oh, I mean, this fucking guy, he's got everybody and their brother. These stats are just padded stats. Are you out your goddamn mind?
No, he's no Tua, but he'll do.
Jalen Guyton, Josh Palmer as a rookie who's now emerged and grown. Josh Palmer, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams in the only good season, Jared Cook.
Dude.
Anybody remember the good old Donald Parham? Come on, dude. Like you're making Mike Williams 1,000-yard wide receiver that year. 1,146 yards and 9 touchdowns. You're crazy. You're crazy. You are crazy. Very good point, Brandon Butler. Don't throw rage cookies at Monty. He turns into raging Mama Bears fan when you attack the Justin Care Bear.
Yeah. And that's Justin Herbert, not
you
Justin
come after
Fields.
my spouse, Justin Hey Bear. He's average.
The hell out of here.
Good Christ. Chris also says the Saints won with Kamara as the main guy. Stop diminishing Eckler's talent. Then why aren't they re-signing him? Why isn't he the number one running back? I mean, it's Austin Eckler.
Yeah, I mean, how do we not have Austin Eckler? Holy crap.
I mean, stay hard. Never mind he can't get on roller coasters at Disneyland. He's just not tall enough. But other than that, he's a great
I'm
running
unfamiliar
back.
with it.
Yeah, he doesn't know what a roller coaster is. He can't get into the harness. Come on, dude. Come on.
So Herbert sucks. What team doesn't want him? What team today does he go to and not start? There's one, and it's Kansas City. Does he start if he's on the Niners, Brock Purdy or Justin Herbert?
Justin Herbert.
And I could make the argument if you said to Baltimore, you can have Justin Herbert or you can keep Lamar Jackson.
Justin Herbert.
Find me the quarterback that he doesn't start instead of. There's one, Patrick Mahomes. Who else? There's nobody else.
What would the Lions be with Herbert?
There's nobody else. If Justin Herbert was
Philly.
Philadelphia Eagles, I'm taking Justin Herbert over Jalen Hurts. And I love Jalen Hurts. Absolutely. I'm taking him. Josh Allen, I'm taking him over. Listen, we can sit here. You want to talk about a guy that's a stat patter, and that guy's actually had the program to get him to the biggest games, which Herbert is not. What has Josh Allen done in the biggest moments? I'm just saying.
Asking for a friend.
Fat Jesus, let's just keep going. Herbert's arm is shit. Right? If he could only throw the ball down the field. Here's a good one. Herbert or Burrow?
Great one.
I'm probably taking Joe Burrow. There's
probably.
two. Herbert throws darts with broken ribs that would sideline most quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's got Phil Rivers vibes a little bit, right? Playing hurt constantly.
What are we doing? Like, God, please. All right. Triggering Monty is now over on the Monty Show. Trigger Monty. The Monty Show is always presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business, where you never reach into your pocket to pay the advocates, no friends, because they know what needs to be done when you get in an accident.
When you've been injured in an accident, you need a lawyer, and you deserve an advocate. Speaking with an attorney is simple and 100% free. We're available 24/7 for your convenience, and we'll take on the claims process so you can rest easy. You deserve an advocate.
Yes, you do. And listen, you come in here and you get injured saying stupid shit about the Herberts. Don't call the advocates, man. They're not.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I feel like the comment section chooses violence.
What kind of comment
At
is
least weekly.
Justin Herbert sucks? Like, bro, there's no way.
I would give
There's no way, bro.
Have you seen how beautiful his mane is? Like, what are we even talking about? He sucks. He's a stat padder.
Monty, he's a stat padder.
Well, if
Him and Kirk Cousins hang out.
If he stats pads, I would happily have him stack pads.
Yeah.
If he wants to stack my shoulder pad.
Oh my God, just like that. Oh.
Mike Smith, Herbert does not have the level of players like Fouts did. Jesus, ain't that the truth? Dakota Tubbs, Justin Herbert will never win an AFC West divisional championship. We'll
see. I think that there's some real credence to how challenging and how physical that team's going to be under Harbaugh.
John DeLon, Herbert P. sitting down. Okay. Mike Smith.
The real question is he team lean or team stand?
That's right. Put Herbert behind the O-line in Detroit. We'd have a Super Bowl or two.
Facts. Yep.
Let him cook. Let him cook. Dakota. It's called Burrowhead, not Herbert Head, for a reason.
You're hating, bro.
But it's true.
Burrowhead my ass!
Herbert or Minshew? My God.
Dude. The real question for you, Fat Jesus, is Herbert or Kyler? But, Herbert's intimately familiar with Kyler, type players and how small they are. So,
They're not re-signed. Is there any better fit in NFL free agency than Saquon to the Cowboys?
No.
That's happening. Never is a big word. It is a very big word. I take Herbert over Carr. You shut your mouth. Wow,
bro. Dude.
Okay.
No redos.
Confirm Monty wants to get padded by Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
All right. Are we going to save Ryan Smith for tomorrow? Or
no, we could do it. We have time. Unless you want to save it for tomorrow and just get in the lifestyle. But
All right. Hey, Gen Z, you losers, get out of the house. I think this is fat. We have a lot of financial talk today. So let me ask you this. Why don't we start here? Are we in a recession?
Oh, Monty, the economy's burning to the ground. No one's buying houses.
Uncle Joe has destroyed this country.
Sleepy Joe Biden can't make anything happen.
Prick. Last month, our inflation number was quite low. 3.09.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been this conversation about whether or not we're in a recession. And it sparks things like Gen Z living at home too long.
Right.
A new study came out that said that Gen Zers, who I think have had a very difficult economy to deal with growing up, now coming into adulthood, they're living at home longer than anybody expected. Well, because they're trying to save money to buy a house, right? Well, that's what they fooled their parents with. Because this new study says that Gen Zers are living at home so long, in fact, that they are not saving money and they are not buying houses. And it is actually to their detriment because it is delaying their financial growth.
Mm-hmm.
Jake is a member of the millennial generation. I'm assuming you're happy to hear this.
I mean, on some level, millennials took a beating for how long we stayed home, right? People hated on millennials and said that, we were terrible and, not trying to do anything, not trying to work hard. Like, yeah, the millennials took a beating over that. And I think, the only difference here, in my opinion, with Gen Z is that Gen Z their upbringing was slightly different from millennials in the sense that Gen Z had a cell phone when they popped out of the womb, right?
Yes.
Like millennials didn't have cell phones till we were like 10 years old, 12 years old, right? It took a few years. And then like, I remember when I got my first cell phone, I was like 10, 11 years old. And so because of that, Gen Z has a very different existence, a very different sense of reality, a very different perspective. And it used to be celebrated that they were on the internet so much and that they were, finding ways to make money and they were doing it different. And I don't even disagree with any of that. I think it's great if you can go on the internet and make money doing that. That's cool, man. That's awesome. I love that. But I don't think that a high enough percentage of Gen Zers, that is, are making enough money to survive. And that's why they're staying home. And I'm all for, hey, you don't want to go to school, you don't want to get that degree, go into debt, all that. I'm cool with that. That was my path, and I turned out just fine. But part of that path is going out and finding your way, right? Like going out and getting that first job and just grinding it out and figuring it out in the day to day. And that's where I feel like Gen Z is misstepping. And I don't know, is Gen Z once again indicative of a failure by their parents? Possibly.
Oh, I think that plays a huge role in it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
there's got to be some of that.
As a parent of a millennial, I can tell you it is very difficult in this current climate. And if you think back to, like, you were born in 93, like you think back to, the 2000s were not great years for millennials. And I think when you look at the cost of education, the lack of interest in education, and I think you look at what the pandemic did to our country, I think that it is very difficult to make the argument that Gen Z hasn't had a tougher road than the millennials. And I think they have.
Yeah.
I think the pandemic ruined an economy in this country. I think it stunted small business generation. And I think we went through a horrendous period where we kept interest rates so low for far too long that we're in a situation where real estate is unattainable. And that's not just Gen Z. That's millennials. That's Gen X. That's
anybody who doesn't own right now. It's unattainable.
It is very difficult to justify, 5, 6, 7% rates. And the average credit score in this country is as low as it has ever been coming out of the pandemic. And it's very difficult. Like, I don't even know what today's mortgage rate is. I didn't look before the show, as sometimes I usually do. Mortgage rates right now for a 30-year fixed are 7.9. I mean, I think I have a almost a slightly less than 3% mortgage rate.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. 3-something at most. Like, it's very difficult now to buy a home when you're looking at, and if you don't have elite credit, if you're not 750 and above, you're going to really struggle to pay below an 8-point mortgage rate.
Yeah.
Because your debt to income ratio is automatically crushed. So I look at this story about, hey, look at Gen Zers. People buying homes today have never put a higher percentage of their total income into their housing cost as you are today. And then you look at this story about grocery prices, and it is absolutely terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
It went. So you ask the question, hey, are we really in a recession? We're not in a recession. We are in a profit-taking period in this country, much by the evidence of Americans are paying 20% more for groceries than they were in 2021.
Yeah.
And you look at this number right here, 20% more for the same basket of groceries as it was in 2021.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And
dude.
that's the portion that I think really impacts, like, folks like myself, right? Like, I don't own a home, right? Like, I rent. And for people who are in my position, like, like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to go out and try to get a mortgage. Like, I can honestly say, like, I'm not sure that makes a ton of sense. It makes sense if you're willing to buy something and play the long game, right? Hey, I'm going to buy this now, and then I'm going to
hold it
this
for 20, 30, 40 years. It's going to be in my be in my family for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Then, okay, cool. We can make that conversation happen. But the problem is I just don't think most of us want that commitment. Why would I take on the liability of that? Why would I do that? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
And when you're watching the roller coaster ride that we're on, it used to be, okay, well, I'm going to pay, 6 or 7%. But as my credit score goes up, as the housing market goes up and my house appreciates, and rates fluctuate, I can refi in 5 years and lower my mortgage payment. It doesn't work. You're not refining.
Yeah.
Because the rate's going up, not down.
Yep.
Right. And the problem is if we use the traditional formula, which has been pretty accurate in mortgage rates, they're not forecasted to come down anytime soon because we have a ton of inventory. That inventory is overpriced and it's not moving. And we don't have a ton of inventory. The inventory we had, most of it's overpriced. And you put an overpriced home with an overinflated mortgage rate, there's no way for Gen Z to move out of their mom's house.
Besides renting.
Which you're going to pay probably $2,000 to $3,000 a month in rental cost.
Yeah.
And depending on where you live, it's just wild to me.
So it makes it so that you have to be in a relationship to really comfortably afford life. You have to have 2 incomes to comfortably get around in life right now.
You have to, single people in this country, and it used to be if you made 6 figures, you were doing really well. Not the case anymore. Not the case anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you justify in the most expensive corners of this country? How do you ever live in Los Angeles? I would love to live in Los Angeles. I miss Southern California every single day. You're paying 7, 8, 9, like the house I live in now is $1 million in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And I think I'm overinflated now. And to get a mortgage, and again, not that I'm special. I have the best credit score you can possibly have. I'm 849. Like it doesn't get much better than that, but by 1 point. And my mortgage would be around $7,000 a month if I truly wanted to live. If I wanted to live in, like, I would move to Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
I'm looking at $5,000 to $7,000 a month.
But you can go and get that 2-bedroom for $4,000 a month, $5,000 a month.
Look at the rental on it.
It's wild.
Like you can't afford it, man.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
So then the question for Gen Z is like, hey, okay, so if we can't buy houses and groceries and cost of life is up,
Can't buy cars.
Can't really buy cars, right? Like you either have to pay down the car you want to buy when you do the loan, or you have to truly understand how to play the game. You'd have to have some type of great trade-in situation or whatever the case may be. So can't buy houses, can't buy cars, struggle to buy groceries, and you live with your parents, which at some point for 99% of people becomes too much. So I'm going to go and rent, and I'm going to pay $1,800 a month for a 1-bedroom. Then I'm going to get into a relationship, and I'm going to try and expand my footprint a little bit so that I enjoy life a little more. And then you just have to figure it out. And that's the part that I think is tough. Like Gen Z, like most millennials, and I think you agree with this. Most millennials are not great at like, hey, we just have to figure this stuff out.
No,
like,
they're not.
Like that thought process isn't exactly accepted. And Gen Z just is not. Gen Z doesn't do that. Gen Z is, in my experience, is not, again, to no fault of their own, just is not mentally disciplined enough and mentally tough enough to get through things.
We do not, and I'm guilty of this as a parent of a millennial, we do not equip our children correctly to succeed. Because I still think we live in this world where we think college is the only way to go, and it's not. What happened to trade schools? What happened to, and I saw a Reuters story, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm terrible at remembering where I read stories, but in London now, it is becoming more and more common for kids to go to trade school type classes to learn high level computer and video editing programs.
Yeah.
It is commonplace now in parts of Europe for kids in high school to learn high level coding. You're changing. The world is changing.
And I think that type of thought process is phenomenal, right? Hey, so instead of going into debt to get like a generalized business degree, let's say, why wouldn't I just go out and fill up my tool bag, right? Like, okay, let me go out and get certified in this and certified in that, certified in this. And all those certifications together mean that I can go out and get you know, that high level video job or that high level coding job, or basically in simple terms, I can go out and I can make 150, 200 a year doing something that isn't going to kill me emotionally.
Do you know what a union electrician or plumber makes?
Right. And so
they make great bread, dude.
And it's like, it's not a popular thing anymore. I remember when I was growing up, dude, like union electrician work was huge, dude. Like all the time. I remember being in class in elementary school and career day, and they were like, yeah, dude, you can go and be an electrician, and that'll make you a ton of money, and like you can go and get certified, and it's a great way to do it. I remember them talking about it.
But it used to be that you could be a postman, a police officer, a firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to be a cop now?
Nobody.
Who wants to be a first responder now? That's rough, dude. Like, I look at that. There was a story on the news last night. Mrs. Monty and I were like talking about our days and stuff, and sitting on the couch watching a news story about a local National Guard unit that's deploying to Northern Africa. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. I have so much respect for the military and the sacrifices. And I think
that's the other
make.
Side too, right? Like it I feel like it's almost become, I mean, unpopular might be harsh, but I don't really see a lot of talk about like, hey, serve your country, like join the military. Like, you know, you see the commercials here and there, like sometimes they'll do a buy, but it used to be really popular. Like I know I had kids that I went to like middle school with that I know went into the Navy, went into the Air Force. Like I know those people. Yeah. And now I don't really hear about that. And it could just be that I don't have a huge circle of people anymore. I keep my circle pretty small. And hey, maybe that's part of it. But I just think that the path of, hey, go to school, you know, get out of school, buy a house, and work the rest of your life, that path is dead, dude. It's not available anymore.
RJC Man says rent in DC for 2 bedrooms is $3,600 a month.
Hey, you see what I mean? So like if you're Gen Z looking at that, you're like, damn, dude, like maybe I don't necessarily want to still live in my parents' house, but where am I gonna go?
Jansen, me and my girlfriend want to move in together because rent is so high, but her parents are LDS.
Another factor in Salt Lake.
So convincing them to let us move in together is next to impossible, dude. You got to get married.
Jansen, if you don't mind me asking, are you LDS?
Wasikowski, the dollar losing 40% in value has something to do with current. No, it actually doesn't. No, it doesn't. This is a conservative talking point that is completely false, but that's fine. Ferris Khan, dude's got a 86 font size for Los Angeles and San Diego just about above his head. Well, we're not the ones who designed the rap, so there you go.
Why does that even matter?
Yeah,
what the hell are you even talking about?
Washington State, 150K is lower middle class in certain areas, which is crazy.
And that percentage of certain areas is going up. It's
crazy.
Going up.
Chrissy, many companies pay COL according to your location, cost of living. So a lot of work from home employees move to California or Hawaii. They don't. The biggest issue
That's
is
so funny.
A lot of tech companies, and we are going through this right now as we speak. A lot of tech companies do not give you cost of living adjustments if you were hired as a work from home employee. They don't give you work from home adjustment. If you were hired remotely and you want to go take a job in pick your place, they're not going to give you a cost of living adjustment for DC, Virginia, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle. They're not giving you cost of living adjustments.
Like that type of thought, though, the idea that pops into my head right away, like if I was young 20s right now and I had the skills, like I did those certifications we talk about, let's say, and you know, you're 25 and you're trying to figure out what am I going to do? Why would you not just go and like move to Hawaii and do a work from home
That's
job
what I would do.
And like,
you have a friend of yours who you played baseball with who moved to Hawaii and is a prolific photographer now.
Yeah.
Like, go live your life.
But again, that type of skill allows you to do that. But you have to be willing to go out and add the skill.
Yep. Louis Capazzo, good to see you. The 6 to 7% mortgage rates are about the average. Yes, they are. The super low rates were held artificially low for way too long. They did that to jumpstart the economy after 2008.
Listen,
I agree.
Listen, I don't have an issue, and this has always been my take on the mortgage rates. I don't have an issue that it's 7 or 8%. What I have an issue with is we're doing 7 or 8% on $600,000.
Yeah.
We're not doing 7 or 8% on $300,000 on a 4-bedroom.
And I think part of the issue is, and I think we saw this through, you see this in just about every administration. I think over the last 4 or 5 presidents, we've seen this, where there's so much pressure to lower the CPI. There's so much pressure to bring down inflation, lower, interest rates. And you can't keep interest rates low all the time.
No.
It's bad for Americans. It's bad for the way we spend money. It makes things too easy to acquire, yet very difficult to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the people who were able to look at it 2008, like Capazzo was talking about. You look at the housing crash, and people think it was a joke or a movie line. It's not. You quite literally had strippers in Sacramento, like female strippers, adult performers that owned 2, 3, 4 like homes that were valued at $400,000-$500,000. There's like a community called Granite Bay. It's wild. Stockton, California was one of the foreclosure meccas of the country. Las Vegas. Look how many foreclosures happened in Las Vegas because a single income owner had 3, 4, 5 mortgages.
How?
Because we always want that brass ring. Okay, we come out of that, and then what? Well, now we got to figure out a way to encourage Americans to buy homes again. Let's keep the rate low so people can afford money. But now look at credit card defaults.
Yeah.
Because you're house poor. It's
wild, bro.
It is frustrating to me. Giggity. Jansen, you're going to need to put a ring on it. You truly are.
But you see what kind of
you truly are.
Like, and again, I have no issue with the LDS community. That's not my point here. My point is that because of a religious belief, a faith, Jansen's being put into a difficult situation here, right? Like, hey, we can't. I level with this because this is the situation I'm in, right? Only I don't have parents who are like, hey, she's LDS, so you need to get married. Like, I get it. The faith is strong, dude. But you also have to look at the reality of our world. And that would be difficult for me to grapple with.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, you tried to date in an LDS community, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not easy.
Yeah. I don't know. I look at, but it's comments like the dollar. Oh, the dollar's weak. The dollar is back to pre-pandemic levels, man. Dollar's not weak.
No.
The dollar's riding the wave right now.
Greed is strong.
The issue is, and it was gas prices before, it is the cost of goods. The pandemic made it, we normalized expensive eggs. We normalized all the cost of, pipeline and
supply
chain, and those issues are solved now. Do we have some of that happening? Sure we do. But did the prices come down when the supply chain normalized?
Nope.
No. Did we rehire all the American workers that got laid off? No. Why not? Well, because now we have less workers doing more work and we're saving money. We're not rehiring. And this idea, and this politics in this country are broken because we have one side on the left or on the right that says one thing. It's complete bullshit. We have another side that says another thing. It's complete bullshit. And we're, as Americans, left to try and figure out what we believe. And what happens is you pick one side or the other. So everybody's getting fed bullshit. And there's very few people in the middle who are like, well, let me go look at what's the strength of the dollar right now? Never looked at that before. Whoever said that. You never looked at that. Wasikowski. You never, the American dollar is so weak. No, it's not. No, it is actually not weak. The economy is terrible. The economy is not bad. All the economic indicators say they're not bad.
Go look at numbers, not opinions.
The inflation's been cut in half in the last year. You don't want to talk about that because you're on one side and the other side is not desirable to you.
Yeah.
Jansen, as a Gen Z, I fully agree with what Jake just said. There are so many kids who are not mentally prepared for life after high school, and it genuinely scares me.
It should.
And speaking of politics, how many 17-year-old kids are like, man, I'd love to be president? That's not a thing anymore. Look at all the people quitting Congress because you just can't get anything accomplished. The future is scary to me. McKinley Cutler, the cookie king of Utah.
What's up,
Let's go. 13 months a member. Appreciate you. I moved out and started renting 3 months ago. My parents are paying the same amount for their mortgage that I'm paying for a 700 square foot apartment.
Yeah, pisses me off every month, dude.
My mortgage is less than Jake's rent.
1-bedroom apartment, I pay more than dude over here pays.
Your housing cost in total
is ridiculous.
Is more than my housing cost, and I own a home, and he rents an apartment.
A 1-bedroom apartment.
Lopes fan Gabe, good morning. Ferris Khan, I only like if I get a mention. I am transactional. We mentioned you. Don't know what else I can do. UW fan Jim, union apprenticeships used to be the way to go. Get paid a fair wage while you learn. Yeah, exactly right. RJC man, 60 Minutes had a story about trade schools and Fortune 500 not demanding college education. The wealth class prefers a dumber population. There's an argument to be had for how the rich get richer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm a passionate believer that we need to stop shaming rich people. We do. And we were talking about this over the weekend, the three of us, the Monty clan. We were sitting around talking about money. And we were talking about, well, like, do I trust banks? If I take my personal wealth, am I willing, I'm a Wells customer, let's say, or a Chase customer, let's say. Am I willing to take my money and put it in one of the largest commercial banks? Well, I'm going to have to split, let's call it $1 million. I'm going to have to split my $250,000 accounts up because I'm not going to put $1 million all in one account, but I'm going to put some of that in the money market. What about Amex, who has, I think, the highest rated high interest yield savings account? Am I going to put it in there? How many 17-year-old kids know what a high interest savings account is? How many 17-year-old kids know what a money market account is? Is that the school's fault? No, it's not. It's your fault. If you have kids and you are not talking to them about money markets, why you never use a debit card. We're all so scared of credit card debt. Oh, I haven't used a debit card I think when we bought lotto tickets the other day was the first time I used my debit card in
understanding
months
how
and months and months.
There's two philosophies on credit cards, different show, right? But what I will say is understanding how to leverage your credit card bandwidth and understand, okay, I'm going through a rough time.
Yes.
Now's the time when I'm going to lean on my credit to get me through this time. Damn well knowing it's going to take me some time to dig out of that, but understanding it'll get me through. Understanding how to play that game is crucial to having success because I can assure you that you will not always have 50 G's sitting in the bank.
Yep.
And you will not always have enough money to pay for everything.
I agree. Brandon Butler, first responders is a calling, not a career now.
And that's a shame, dude.
Did you see last week a paramedic got killed in a domestic disturbance?
It's absolutely a shame.
It is. Go Cougs says America heading to multi-generational housing being the norm. It is. We talk about this all the time. Do you build a compound and share land, or do you each buy a home and you pay $10,000, let's say, because there was an article in the Wall Street Journal that talked about how the housing cost per family is at an all-time high now, where you have if a family of 4, so a husband, wife, and 2 kids. I think the average in America now is $16,000 a month in mortgage payments for the average family of 4.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, well, let's build a compound. Well, how many kids want to live on the same plot of land with their parents? I don't know the answer to that question. You want to live in Southern California? You're going to share a house.
Yeah.
You're going to. And if I look at some of the Asian communities, I look at the Filipino community, that's the norm. I'm telling you that we got away from love of family and prioritizing our close family first.
Mm-hmm.
We are very fortunate. We work together every day.
Mm-hmm.
And we fight together every day, and we argue on the golf course every day, right? Like
we do.
And we love it.
I'm a big proponent, especially with where things are headed, of getting out of the urban areas. Leave the urban areas.
I would do it. I honestly would buy a plot of land and build a home.
Like if you have a a work from home situation happening, leave the urban area.
I would
go far enough away where you can buy. I don't have a good grip on how many acres I'd want, right? Never actually looked hard into it, but enough land that you feel like, hey, I've got a nice piece of land here that's big enough that I can do anything I want to do on it.
Build a golf hole.
Yeah,
a single,
but I'm being
200
serious,
yards.
dude.
I'm serious too.
Build a
give me a house. What I would want probably multi acres, build 2 single family homes on it. I would absolutely have an unbelievable garage.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have a garage the size of my house so I don't have to back into my garage. I can just pull in and pull out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know how I am. I like to pull in and pull out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd have a 200-yard par 3 in my backyard.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'd have a 200-yard par 3. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Capazzo, I didn't want to be a first responder anymore and pulled the plug. Well, I appreciate your service.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you. Giggity, I also appreciate your service. Giggity's in the military. The military is a good transition out of your parents' home. Guaranteed 3 meals and a cot every day.
Well, and I think to that end, Giggity, think about all the skills you learned in your experience with what you've done, right? Like, I think that it is an undervalued way of going about it. But I think to your point, if you join the service, you're not going to have the opportunity till much later in life, right? Till probably you're 30, I would think for most folks.
Yeah.
Until you're 30 to really rekindle your relationships with your family and and look, I understand like you can communicate and that part of it's gotten a lot better, but you get what I'm saying. Like you're gone.
But I think the challenges of being a 17-year-old kid have there always been challenges? Sure. But you look at fentanyl and drug use in this country. You look at the prevalence of depression amongst our teens over social media and comparison syndrome. And I mean, I agree with Giggity. The military is not the worst place. Is it the easy route? It's not. Wasikowski, doing trade jobs have gotten a bad name because it's beneath some people and not socially acceptable. Totally agree. McKinley, honestly, as soon as my year lease is up, I'm probably moving back in with my parents.
Yeah, McKinley,
and I don't blame you.
I think that the hard part is like, again, we jokingly and lovingly call you the Cookie King of Utah, right? But I think the hard part is that owning a business right now is really difficult, man.
And McKinley, I think you're in it. You work in a family business.
Yeah, so you get it, and that's the hard part is like, dude, like as you get older, and I don't know how old you are, but as you get older, like at some point, I'm sure you will want to spread your, wings, if you will,
because you need that space. You need that space. You need that step to maturity. And I think one of the things that is problematic for kids now, and I'm not talking about you, McKinley, in particular. I seriously am not.
No, this is a greater conversation.
You have to go the Carol Lawson route. Handle hard better.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And one of my favorite sayings, it takes what it takes. If you are a 31-year-old in your 31st year on life and you're renting, you're probably not buying a house unless you're making mid 6 figures, $200,000. Right? So it takes what it takes. You need to make as much money as you can, and you need to facilitate and build a lifestyle that allows you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That does not mean moving in with your girlfriend who needs cuddle time at 3:00 in the afternoon if you're a salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
It does not mean, hey, I'm going to go be a union electrician, but I'm going to skip class because, you know what, I feel like playing Call of Duty today. Hey, when I am at work, I'm going to look at Instagram for an hour every day and not on my lunch break. You got to do what you got to do. It takes what it takes.
Yeah, you can't afford to screw around anymore.
You can't. There's no room for error.
No room for error.
And jobs are plentiful. But I'm telling you now, like my wife right now, my wife is, and I talk about my wife all the time because I think she's a phenomenal role model. She wants more. She wants more. Across the board. She wants more. My wife is huge in the self and personal development. So we're 50 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to get a program management certificate. She's going through Six Sigma training. Do you know how difficult that shit is? Don't you think we'd rather be golfing? She's just got herself a brand new bicycle. Don't you think she'd rather be out riding her bicycle on the weekends? Yet she's going through certificate training. She's going through Six Sigma training because she wants more. How many 24-year-olds are willing to do what you got to do? You want to get a better job? Go get Six Sigma training or whatever that piece is.
Yeah, you have to be willing to get uncomfortable to add skills to your tool bag, man.
And we're not.
And I think that there are so many people I talk to who want these things but are unwilling to go from this career to jumping into sales, or this career to doing this, or whatever the case may be, right? Like everyone's story is different, but I just think you have to be willing to say, okay, hey, I want to make, 150 or whatever that number is so that I can live comfortably. How can I do that?
But I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. Look at OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
Dudes, you got to do what you got to do. And it's why I always say, I'm not judging you. If you're on OnlyFans, I'm not judging you.
Right.
If you're going to trade school, I'm not judging you. How can I help you? What can I do to support you? Just because it's not our belief doesn't mean it's wrong.
Yeah.
And I think we as parents have worked so hard to judge our kids. You're going to college. How is that six-figure college debt? Do you know how hard it is to be $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 in law school debt? I was talking to a guy yesterday. It's a small business owner, and his truck got repossessed. He was telling me that he had to get a job to try and keep his work truck, but he couldn't get his paycheck soon enough. His truck got repossessed, so his personal company went out of business. And he said, I am doing everything I can do to rebuild my credit and rebuild my business, and it's hard right now.
Yeah.
But he's doing everything he's got to do, which includes 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Because he didn't say the word desperate, but you could tell he's desperate.
I'm just telling you right now
to get back to working for himself.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, if you're someone that's got a 9 to 5 and you don't do anything outside of that 9 to 5, and when I say you don't do anything, like that could be personal development, that could be forming a company, that could be like, you can't just do your 9 to 5 and then go home and rot. You have I'm just telling you, like, there's so much opportunity there, but you have to create it.
And this right here, hold on, Tanner, because I want to go to Dakota Tubbs, who supports Vladimir Putin, even realizes the dollar is strong as hell.
Yeah.
I'm planning a trip to Italy, my homeland.
Yeah.
With my wife right now. And look at Tanner Plummer. I was talking with my dad yesterday, who's a staunch conservative, and I told him the economy was doing better, and he tried to spin it to say that it's still bad. It's not still bad. The economy's not bad. We're at a place in time in this country where I promise you, we're focused on the wrong shit.
Yes.
We're trying to take in vitro fertilization away from families, and at the same time spin that the economy is bad. I understand you don't want the old man in the White House anymore, but you better watch what you wish for.
And none of us do. I might point that out.
But the issue is, how do we fix it? You know how we fix it? And I'm a big believer in this. Don't be involved in politics. I am at a place in time right now where, as somebody that grew up and as an adult, I have voted almost strictly Republican. I have no idea who I would even consider voting for in this election.
Yeah, what are you, 6 of 9 voting Republican, right?
Yes.
Of the last elections, right?
How do I vote for, I am not a guy that can put myself in a place to vote for the current
options.
I'm not.
Either way.
On either side of the aisle.
They're both terrible options, dude. Well, but what do I get yesterday? What do I get? Hey, Donnie and Biden won convincingly in Michigan.
80% for both of them.
Cool, dude. Sick. We're gonna run it back again.
Chrissy, I've never used a debit card. I use credit card only and have to them worry about the liability I use on shady websites. Exactly.
But like a lot of people don't know how to do that.
When
a lot
I
of
buy,
people are scared.
But when I buy my Justin Herbert nudes from Chris's website, I use it. BYU will win again Saturday, 84-65, and get back into the top 20.
Nice.
Dakota, treat your credit card like it's a debit card. Pay it off full every month. Reap the rewards that card company offers. I am an Amex customer.
Yeah.
Wasikowski, a lot of countries are dumping the dollar right now, and the government spending has impact on the prices. Who cares? The dollar is not weak. We can sit here and try and spin that.
What does that have? What is other countries? We need to stop doing this too. I don't give a damn what's happening with other countries. What's happening here? What are we doing here?
Yes, Jaron Eccles. Yes. Blue-collar trade workers don't get paid nearly enough. No kid is going to learn a trade when they can get an IT job for $100K instead. That's scary. So that's scary for the future of trades. And we've never appreciated the union worker in this country.
Yeah.
It used to be the steel workers. But I'm telling you, you look at what, like the new housing start boom in this country.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that little old Jimmy, who's never laid pipe in his life, that's not the guy building houses. Those are union tradesmen that are putting in the pipes, doing the plumbing, doing the electrical, doing the framing.
Yes.
Those are union carpenters, union electrical workers, union plumbers. And we got to a point in this country, unions are bad. Fuck that. No, they're not.
Yeah.
The union worker in this country deserves respect. And
yes.
I'm tired of hearing about cars are too expensive. Union workers' fault. No, it's not. It's greed. It's the electric car boom. How's that working out for you?
Yeah.
It's not.
How about we get back to reasonable car prices?
There's no shame in being a union worker in this country. And I talked to the people at Harmon's. A lovely young lady started her first week as a cashier at Harmon's last week. I was a union cashier at Jewel Food Store in Chicago. I believe in unions. I grew up in a union town. I grew up in a family full of Teamsters.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in it. And we've got to get to a place where being an electrician matters. Being a plumber matters. Being an HVAC tech matters.
Yes.
And we degrade those people, Jaron. I think it's a great point. But there's nothing wrong with being an IT professional.
Nothing.
There's nothing wrong with being a coder.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with whatever it is you're going to do to make a living.
I really wish, and I really hope, and I know we got to roll, but I really hope that if you are a parent, please, I'm begging you, talk to your kids about this stuff. Please, when your kid gets to 5th, 6th, 7th grade, start talking about money. Start talking to your kids about what that bowl of cereal costs, about what that gallon of milk costs, about what those eggs cost, because they don't get it. They don't know. And if we don't educate our kids on how to buy houses and how to build generational wealth, savings accounts don't have to wait until you're making money.
Yeah.
Right? Get your kid an Amex card. Get your kid a high interest bearing savings account with whoever you choose. Get your kid an S&P 500 ETF account. Set them up, talk to them, educate them. Sit down with them every Saturday morning. Hey, little Johnny, I know you got a soccer game, but we got to look at your S&P account. We got to look at your Amex account. We got to educate them. Open an E-Trade account for them.
Yeah.
I wish we would do that, and we don't. The Monty Show, as always, is presented by our good friends at The Advocates. TheAdvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business, you guys. You never pay The Advocates a penny out of pocket. You don't pay The Advocates unless and until they win your case. Talk to an attorney live online for free. No consultation fee, for free. TheAdvocates.com. Tell me you heard about it on The Monty Show. Until tomorrow, Jake. Say goodbye.
Come on, Jake.